Follow your passion is the most beautiful bad advice you will ever be handed. It sounds like freedom. It is a trap that keeps talented people lost for a decade. The passion mindset asks one thing: do I love it yet? Early on, you are bad at everything, so the answer is almost always no. So you quit, chase the next thing, and hit the same wall. Catch that question. When the work gets hard, replace it with a sharper one. How good am I getting? That swap changes everything. Before Steve Martin became one of the most famous comedians alive, he spent 10 years playing half-empty in different rooms. He didn't repeat the same act. He studied what failed, rewrote, and attacked weak spots night after night. Fame looked sudden. It was 10 quiet years of getting good. His love for the work did not come first. It grew from becoming great. So pick one genuinely valuable skill and write it plainly. The skill I am going to get so good at they cannot ignore me is underscore. Most people fail here because they think getting good just means logging hours. A clerk who spends 20 years doing the same job may not have 20 years of skill. He may have 1 year repeated 20 times. If repetition alone worked, every commuter would be a Formula One driver. Real skill comes from uncomfortable practice. Work on the edge of your ability. Hunt honest feedback even when it stings. Drill the parts you cannot do yet, instead of repeating what already feels easy. Each session, target what you are worst at, and ask someone better where you fell short. Steve Jobs famously told graduates to find what they love, yet as a young man, he cared little about computers. Apple began largely as a way to make quick money, and passion followed only after extraordinary mastery. Even its most famous advocate lived the craftsman path. Today, anyone can publish. Skill is what separates professionals from amateurs. When the work gets hard, trade "do I love this yet?" for "how good am I getting?" Pick a valuable skill and measure progress instead of a mood. Practice at the edge. Chase feedback that stings. Tonight, finish this sentence. The skill I will get so good at they cannot ignore me is underscore. Tomorrow, attack the part you are worst at. Passion is not the fuel you begin with. It is the reward for excellence. The voice in your head that tells you to wait is not your wisdom. It is an enemy wearing your face. It has stolen more dreams than failure has. By the end, you will know its name and the one move it cannot survive. You sit down to do the work that matters, and suddenly the kitchen needs cleaning. You should research more first. A reasonable voice explains why today is not the day. Stephen Pressfield spent 30 years losing to that voice before he named it. He called it resistance. A force as dependable as gravity that rises every time you try to move from a smaller life to a bigger one. Stop treating it as a verdict on yourself. Every writer staring at a blank page feels it. It is proof you are attempting something that matters, because that is the only time it appears. When the pull hits, name it silently. There it is. Not my wisdom, the enemy. It never attacks openly. It wears costumes. Procrastination never says never, only tomorrow. Research looks like preparation, but becomes procrastination with a library card. Its greatest disguise is self-doubt, spoken in your own voice, so you cannot tell where you end and it begins. Find the costume it uses on you most. Look at your unfinished work, name the pattern, and write it down. Today you face an even harder battle. You carry a device built by some of the smartest people alive to capture your attention and keep it. Yet the enemy gives you a clue. It fights hardest against the work that matters most. The strongest headwind blows when you move towards something significant. Whatever you avoid most is often pointing toward your calling. The fear never disappears. It is not a stop sign. It is the weather, and you go out in it anyway. Resistance survives by keeping you thinking instead of acting. So begin before the excuses finish forming. You cannot out-argue it. You can only out-act it. When the pull comes, name it. Find its favorite disguise. Treat your deepest avoidance as a signal instead of a warning. Then do the smallest piece today. Stop obeying the voice you mistook for your own. One decision, free and instant, that separates the people who build from the people who only ever almost do. Make it, and procrastination stops running your life. Ignore it, and you stay busy while forever getting ready. Two people sit down to the same work. The first is an amateur, and this has nothing to do with talent. The amateur works only when inspired, when conditions feel right. Inspiration is unpredictable, so most days they wait. The second is a professional. The professional shows up every day, inspired or not. The way you show up to a job, you cannot afford to lose. The muse joins only after she sees you already started without her. Same gift, same love, opposite lives. Because one turned pro and the other never did. Does that destroy the joy? It feels true, but the opposite is closer to reality. The amateur waits for joy, works rarely, improves slowly, and the work stays clumsy. The joy they tried to protect slowly fades. The professional keeps showing up, grows stronger, and discovers the deeper satisfaction that comes with mastery. The amateur guards a candle. The professional builds a fire. Resistance feeds on openings. Every time you say you'll start when conditions are right, you give it another chance to win. The amateur renegotiates every morning and loses because excuses are easier than action. The professional removes the negotiation. The decision was made once in advance. Motivation becomes less important because the schedule already exists. Turning pro is not about quitting your job or getting paid. It is an identity. The amateur says, I am trying to write. The professional says, I am a writer, and behaves that way before success arrives. You do not turn pro because you became ready. You become ready because you turned pro. Today, anyone can publish. You do not have to out-talent everyone. You simply have to outlast those who quit. Decide today that you are turning pro and write it down. Set a small, non-negotiable time to show up each week. Treat it like a job you cannot lose. Show up no matter your mood, because the feeling follows the work, not the other way around. Cross the line today. The muse is elitist. The routine is democratic, and it works for anyone who keeps it united. A penniless man in filthy clothes walked into Thomas Edison's laboratory and announced he had come to become the great inventor's business partner. His name was Edwin Barnes. He had no money, no connections, and no obvious path to Edison. Yet it happened exactly as he declared because he carried something most people never do. Barnes did not have a wish. He had a burning, definite desire, and he acted as though it were already decided. Edison gave the ragged stranger a job sweeping floors. Most people would have quit or settled. Barnes stayed close, watched, waited. And when Edison built a machine his own salespeople could not sell, Barnes stepped forward and sold it. The janitor became Edison's partner. Napoleon Hill believed every great achievement rested on a burning desire tied to a definite purpose. Most people fail for a reason unrelated to talent. They want success only vaguely. A wish floats beside you for years without changing your life. A definite purpose becomes an engine that keeps moving. Hill also wrapped this idea in mystical claims about thoughts attracting wealth. There is no good evidence for that, but the practical mechanism is powerful. A clear purpose tunes your attention so you notice opportunities others ignore. It helps you endure obstacles because the reason matters more than the discomfort. It organizes your daily decisions around one question. Does this move me toward my aim? Purpose without action changes nothing. Fuel without an engine stays in the tank. Barnes did not visualize his way into success. He swept floors for months and stayed ready. Aim at meaning, not only money. A purpose bigger than comfort keeps burning when motivation fades. Write one definite purpose in a single sentence. Make it concrete enough that you will know when you have reached it. Add the reason beneath it. Connect it to real action and a realistic timeline. Put it somewhere you will see every day, not to cast a spell, but to keep your attention focused and your fire alive. Then get up and do the work. Burn the boats and leave yourself no quiet escape. Summon the wisest people who ever lived tonight for a few dollars and have them share their deepest lessons. So why do you keep scrolling instead? The greatest thinkers distilled what they learned into books that sit within easy reach. A king might once have paid a fortune for one wise advisor. You can gather thousands on a shelf. The tragedy is that most people never open them, and many who do remember almost nothing. Mortimer Adler explained that reading has levels. Most people stay at the lowest level, skimming for the general idea before quickly forgetting it. Real learning comes through analytical reading. You question the book. What is the author really saying? Where do you agree or disagree? Write in the margins. Challenge the ideas. When you wrestle with them, they become your own because the things we work for are the things we keep. The biggest trap is reading a great book. The same way you read a social feed, the same 60 minutes can either disappear or reshape how you think. Keep a pen nearby. After every section, explain the main idea in your own words. If you cannot, go back. That struggle is where learning happens. There is an even higher level. Read several great books on the same question and compare them. Notice where the authors agree, where they disagree, and build your own understanding instead of borrowing someone else's. Artificial intelligence can become a remarkable tutor. Ask it to explain difficult ideas, challenge your reasoning, or quiz your understanding. Never use it to skip the thinking. A mind that never struggles, never grows. The struggle was never the obstacle. It was the learning. Choose one book connected to your purpose and mine it instead of consuming it. Restate the ideas, question them, and ask after every section, what will I do differently? Then surround yourself with people whose thinking sharpens yours. One book deeply mined is worth more than 50 skimmed. Stand on the shoulders of giants. The person who does whatever they feel like, whenever they feel like it, is not free. They are the most enslaved person alive. Everything you believe about discipline may be backwards. Picture Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, lying in bed on a cold morning. Even he felt the pull of warm blankets and the voice saying, "Stay." He reminded himself he was made to work, to act, and to live out his purpose. Getting up was not punishment. It was a return to who he wanted to be. Someone without discipline follows every impulse. They wanted to build, but felt like scrolling instead, so they scrolled. They can only do what they feel, never what they decide. That is not freedom. The disciplined person carries out their own decisions, and that is the freedom that matters. Think of two versions of yourself. Present, you wants comfort now. Future, you wants the finished work, the stronger body, the mastered skill. Every disciplined choice is a gift to future you. Every careless choice sends them the bill. We are taught that indulgence is self-love. The opposite is often true. Choosing someone's deepest good over their passing impulse is love. Discipline is how you love your future self. Most people think discipline is about willpower. Willpower fades with stress and exhaustion. Systems last. The disciplined person fixes a time and place, removes friction, and makes the right action the default. You do not rise to your willpower. You fall to your systems. One disciplined day seems small, but the days compound until ordinary effort becomes extraordinary results. Choose one small, daily discipline connected to the life you are building. Make it small enough to keep every day. Build a system around it so it needs very little willpower. Each time you do it, especially when you do not feel like it, remind yourself, I am not forcing myself. I am loving my future self. Like the emperor rising from bed, return to your purpose. Keep that promise each day, and you cast another vote for the person you want to become. Let me tell you about the most talented person you have never heard of. You have never heard of them for one reason. They never published. They had the gift. They created remarkable work, but every piece stayed in a drawer, always needing one more revision. The years passed, and the work disappeared with them. That is one of the greatest tragedies in creative life, and it happens every day. The fear that stops you is aimed at the wrong enemy. You worry about judgment, criticism, and rejection. But failure is not what destroys creative lives. Obscurity is. A piece you publish and that gets ignored is still better than a masterpiece no one ever sees. The published work exists. It teaches you. It gives luck something to find. You cannot be discovered if you cannot be found. The creators who seem lucky usually publish often enough that opportunity eventually lands on something they made. Every piece increases the surface where fortune can reach you. Hidden work has no surface at all. Then the voice appears. It isn't ready. It needs more work. I'll publish when it's better. It sounds responsible, but underneath it is fear. The professional ships. The amateur keeps perfecting forever, protected from judgment because nothing is ever seen. The drawer teaches nothing. Reality teaches everything. Once your work meets the world, you finally learn what resonates. Many people believe one perfect project will change everything. The truth is that nobody can reliably predict which piece will connect. The audience decides. If you cannot predict the winner, your advantage comes from publishing more, learning faster, and improving with every attempt. Over time, volume becomes one of the engines of quality. This week, publish one small thing before it feels ready. Finish it in a day, put it somewhere public, and break the seal. Then repeat the process until publishing becomes part of your identity. Publish before you're comfortable. Publish while you're still learning. Just publish. The single most powerful tool for winning attention in the age of artificial intelligence is more than 40,000 years old. Long before writing or cities, people gathered around fires and told stories. They painted them on cave walls before they could write a single word. That ancient technology is still the best way to make people care about what you say. Story is not decoration. It is a tool for helping people stop, feel, and remember. Facts disappear quickly. Stories stay with us because they become experiences instead of information. The tales shared around ancient fires survived for generations. The biggest belief systems in history spread through stories, not bullet points. If you want people to remember your message, wrap it in a story. Why does that work? We are not built to remember isolated facts. Give someone numbers, and they are often forgotten. Give them a character who wants something, faces an obstacle, and changes because of it, and they lean in. Facts inform. Stories transform because they let us experience an idea instead of simply hearing it. Many people make one mistake. They explain when they should illustrate. Instead of saying many people struggle with money, show one person standing in a kitchen, holding a cold cup of coffee, wondering how life drifted away. Make it concrete. Use your own failures and turning points. People connect with honesty more than perfection. There is another secret. Make your audience the hero, not yourself. Your role is to guide them toward their own transformation. Open with a question that remains unanswered, and let curiosity pull them forward until the end. Take your core message and tell it as a story. Find a character, a desire, an obstacle, and a transformation. Keep it specific. Start with your own origin story if it helps. Platforms will change. Algorithms will change. But the human being on the other side of the screen still responds to stories the same way people did around a fire thousands of years ago. Inspiration is the worst thing that can happen to your creative career if you depend on it. The people who wait for it lose to the people who learn to work without it. Imagine two creators with the same talent and the same amount of time. One creates only when inspired. Brilliant work appears, then nothing for weeks. Progress comes in bursts, momentum disappears, and the audience moves on. The other creator is less gifted but builds a system. They create on a schedule whether they feel inspired or not. Their work compounds, their skills improve, and their body of work keeps growing. One followed a mood, the other became a machine. Turning pro is the decision. Becoming a machine is the engineering. Even committed professionals eventually lose if they rely only on motivation. Build a system where output becomes the default. You do not rise to your motivation. You fall to your systems. Start by separating the stages. Capture ideas whenever they appear. Create from that stockpile later. Edit separately. Publish separately. Next, batch your work. Starting is often the hardest part, so start once and keep going. Build repeatable formats so you never face a blank page without a plan. Remove unnecessary decisions by deciding once in advance what you create, where it goes, and how you publish it. A system only works if it lasts. Build something so demanding that you quit in a month and you have built nothing. Create at a pace you can sustain for years, with rest built into the schedule. Structure does not destroy creativity. It gives creativity somewhere to flow, just as a riverbank gives a river its strength. Design your production machine today. Decide how often you will publish. Decide where ideas live, when you batch your work, and which formats you will reuse. Make every decision you can in advance so you do not have to fight the same battle every day. Then run the system, especially when you do not feel like it. That is what it was built for. There is a kind of person for whom doors seem to open before they even knock. People want to work with them, trust them, and recommend them before they ask. We call them lucky, connected, or charismatic. But the real advantage is something much simpler. They built a name. A reputation walks into every room before they do, and it quietly changes the outcome. A reputation is trust at scale. It means people believe you will deliver before you have to prove it again. Trust removes friction. Without it, every opportunity requires convincing. With it, people say yes faster, recommend you more often, and choose you even when cheaper options exist. A strong name becomes leverage, working for you even while you sleep. So how do you build one? Every interaction is either a deposit or a withdrawal. There is no neutral. Keep even the smallest promises because people assume someone who breaks small ones will break big ones too. Underpromise and overdeliver. Be honest even when honesty costs you something. Never send work into the world that you would not proudly attach to your name. A reputation compounds slowly, but it can disappear quickly. One careless decision can erase years of trust. That is why image is never enough. The foundation is integrity. Over time, people always discover whether your actions match your promises. Long-term thinking matters. People who chase quick wins rarely build lasting trust because they trade tomorrow's reputation for today's reward. The people with the strongest names consistently give more value than they take, and that difference compounds for years. Decide what you want your name to stand for. Finish this sentence. When people hear my name, I want them to think underscore 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 underscore. Choose one daily behavior that strengthens that reputation, and one temptation you will refuse because it damages long-term trust. Your reputation is already being built. Build it on purpose, and your name will begin opening doors before you arrive. If your work is not selling, the problem is almost never the work. It is the offer, and the offer is something you can improve. Most people present the same weak offer. Here's my product. Here's the price. Would you like it? The safest response is no. A stronger offer promises the outcome people want, makes them believe they can achieve it, reduces the time and effort required, and removes as much risk as possible. The value becomes so obvious that refusing feels like the worst decision. Your product and your offer are not the same thing. The product is what you made. The offer is everything wrapped around it. The outcome, the proof, the guarantee, the pricing, and the experience. Change only the offer, and the exact same product can become dramatically more appealing. Think about 4 simple levers. Raise the dream outcome people want. Increase their confidence that they can achieve it. Reduce the time until they see results. Reduce the effort required along the way. As those 4 levers improve, the value of what you offer grows. Imagine a fitness course. Simply saying it contains lessons is not compelling. Instead, describe the transformation people want, support it with proof, provide guidance that makes success feel realistic, shorten the path to an early win, simplify the process, and stand behind it with a meaningful guarantee. The product stays the same, but the offer becomes far more attractive. A great offer only works if what you deliver truly helps people. Otherwise, it damages the one asset that takes years to build: your reputation. Trust increases belief before people even buy. That is why you should compete on value instead of price. Take one thing you offer today and improve all 4 levers. Raise the dream outcome. Increase belief. Reduce time. Reduce effort. Reverse as much risk as you honestly can. Keep adding value until you believe people would be missing out by saying no. A strong offer for something that genuinely helps is not manipulation. It is service. You are building your future on land you do not own. The landlord can change the locks tomorrow with no warning and no appeal. Imagine a creator who did everything right. They built a large following, earned a living, and seemed secure. Then, an algorithm changed. Overnight, the audience they depended on almost disappeared. They had built an empire on rented land. Every social platform is rented land. You do not own the relationship with the people who follow you. The platform decides whether your work reaches them. It can change the rules, suspend accounts, or simply fade away. Owned land is different. It is a direct connection to your audience that no algorithm controls. Most simply, an email list. If every platform vanished tomorrow, you could still reach the people who chose to hear from you. Platforms exist to keep attention on their platform, not to strengthen your relationship with your audience. Many people think they should wait until they have a large following before building an owned audience. The opposite is true. The best time to begin is when you are small. Every new person can become part of something you control, instead of something you borrow. Start building an owned audience today, even if you have only a handful of followers. Give people a real reason to join, not just updates, but something genuinely valuable. Each time someone discovers you on a platform, invite them onto ground you own. Use platforms for discovery. Use your owned audience for relationships. That simple shift protects everything you build and gives you a foundation no algorithm can take away. Own the audience, and you own your future. The people who sit beside the dying hear one regret more than any other, and it is probably not the one you expect. For years, a nurse named Bronnie Ware cared for people in their final weeks. Again and again, she heard the same confession: "I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself." and not the life others expected of me. Think about that. They did not regret taking too many chances. They regretted the chances they never took. They wished they had worked less, spoken more honestly, and stayed closer to the people they loved. Notice what is missing. Almost nobody wished they had earned more money or collected more status. Most lasting regrets come from inaction. Failure eventually becomes experience. Never trying becomes a question that can never be answered. That is why the pain lasts so long. When you stand at a crossroads and fear is loud, remember this pattern. The people looking back on a lifetime were rarely haunted by what they attempted. They were haunted by what they postponed. But hearing this is not enough. Turn it into an audit. Imagine yourself at the end of your life, looking back with complete honesty. Ask yourself, if I keep living exactly as I am today, what will I regret? Which dream stayed untouched? Which truth stayed unspoken? Which relationship quietly faded away? Write every answer down. Then beside each regret, write the action that would prevent it. A regret without action is only another way of delaying. Choose the most important one and take the first step today. Repeat this audit every year. The people Bronnie Ware met discovered these truths when they no longer had time to act. You still Classic question asks whether you would rather take $1 million today or one penny that doubles every day for a month. Most people choose the million. Most people lose. At first, the million looks unbeatable. Halfway through the month, the penny is still worth very little. But compounding keeps building on itself until by the end, that penny grows to more than $5 million. Our minds expect progress to move in straight lines. Reality often moves in curves. The same principle shapes your skills, health, relationships, and work. Tiny improvements seem invisible at first. Keep stacking them and they eventually produce results that look impossible from the beginning. The problem is that most people quit during the flat part. They work hard, see almost nothing, and assume it is not working. They never stay long enough to watch the curve bend. Small daily improvements compound just as surely as small daily neglect. One path quietly builds an extraordinary future. The other quietly erodes it. People often overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what they can accomplish in 10. What looks like an overnight success is usually a decade of invisible progress. Choose one thing worth compounding. Commit to it for years, not weeks. Expect the flat part. Do not mistake slow progress for failure. Start today. The earliest effort has the greatest value because every future gain builds on it. The best time to plant the tree was years ago. The second best time is now. Everything you ever wanted can be one of the most dangerous things that ever happens to you. Imagine someone who spent years building wealth, status, and success. They finally reached the summit they dreamed about, only to discover a strange emptiness waiting there. The goal was achieved, but the feeling they expected never arrived. Why? Because we quickly adapt to what we achieve. Today's dream becomes tomorrow's normal. The mind immediately points toward the next goal, promising that fulfillment is always one achievement away. The deeper problem is that success cannot fill a need it was never designed to satisfy. Meaning comes from something different. Money, freedom, and recognition are powerful tools, but they are poor substitutes for purpose. The greatest danger is climbing the wrong mountain. You can spend years becoming excellent at something that never truly mattered to you. Few failures are greater than succeeding at the wrong thing. That does not mean ambition is the problem. Ambition becomes powerful when it serves something larger than status alone. Success works best as a vehicle, not a destination. Meaning is found during the climb, in creating, contributing, learning, serving, and becoming. Not only at the summit. Ask yourself one honest question. What is my success for? Go beneath the money, the recognition, and the achievements until you find the reason that still matters, even if no one applauds. Write that reason down. Let it guide every major decision you make. Want enormously. Just make sure you are climbing the right mountain. Stonecutters were asked what they were doing. The first answered, "I'm cutting stone." The second said, "I'm earning a living." The third looked up and smiled. "I'm building a cathedral." Same tools, same effort. 3 completely different lives. Meaning was never hidden inside the stone. It came from the purpose each person connected to the work. That changes everything. Many people believe they need a different job before they can find meaning. Often they simply need a bigger reason for doing the work they already have. Every task becomes different when it serves something larger than yourself. Purpose also creates endurance. The person building a cathedral keeps going long after the person cutting stone wants to quit. A clear reason carries you through difficult days, better than willpower ever can. Your cathedral does not have to be famous. It can be your family, your community, your craft, or the people you help every day. What matters is that it reaches beyond your own comfort. Ask yourself, what is all of this work building? Who benefits if I keep going? Write your answer somewhere. You will see it often. On hard days, lift your eyes from the stone to the cathedral. The work may stay the same, but your experience of it can completely change everything you need. There is nothing left to learn before you begin. That is exactly why this moment is so dangerous. Your life is shaped by 2 forces running side by side. A clock counting down your finite hours, and a rare window of opportunity that is open right now. The overlap between them is where your future is decided. Knowledge is no longer the missing piece. Action is. Most people read something inspiring, feel the spark, then return to the same routine. A week later, nothing has changed. Information alone never transforms a life. Decisions do. The excuses sound reasonable. I'm not ready. I need a better plan. The timing isn't right. What if I fail? Each one is fear wearing a different disguise. The truth is simpler. Confidence is not what you need before you begin. Confidence grows because you begin. Every meaningful life starts with an imperfect first step. Take one real action today. Publish something. Write 1 page. Send the message. Make the first workout. Lay the first stone. Small actions become momentum. Momentum becomes identity. Years from now, you will not remember the perfect plan you almost made. You will remember the day you finally started. The window is open. Step through it. Somewhere ahead of you, 2 people are waiting. They have your name, your face, and your one life. Both of them are you. Until this moment, they were the same person. From here, they split. One becomes real if you act. The other becomes real if you drift. The first version of you never makes one catastrophic mistake. They simply postpone. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes someday, and someday is where dreams quietly disappear. Years pass. Life feels comfortable, but something is missing. Eventually, they meet the painful question. What happened to the person I could have become? The second version is different. They are not guaranteed fame, wealth, or an easy life. They try, fail, learn, and keep moving. Skills compound. Confidence grows. Opportunities appear because they stayed in the arena instead of watching from the sidelines. At the end, they can say something powerful. I was given one life, and I used it. The difference between these 2 lives is not one dramatic decision. It is the weight of small choices repeated every day. Each morning you either move toward the future you want or quietly reinforce the future you fear. Small actions become years. Years become lives. The fears that keep people frozen rarely tell the truth. What if I fail? The person who never tries also fails, but in the one way that cannot be repaired. Is it too late? The window stays open while you are alive. It only closes when you decide it already has. Picture both futures clearly. See the first version drifting into regret. See the second building a life through steady action. Then choose out loud which future you are creating. Write it down. The next action you take is a vote for one of those lives. You will become one of them. Decide which one starts today.